about the game.
Yeah, I just came back from 2 different locker rooms. One where Jamal Murray called this a really tough loss, and then a Lakers locker room that was blasting some music, feeling good. But also LeBron James called Jokic one of the greatest players of all time and referred to that Serbia-USA game as one of the greatest games he's ever played in. He also said Jamal Murray is an all-star point guard, so a lot of praise from LeBron James, but I know Nuggets fans don't really care so much about what LeBron has to say. You guys want to hear what the Nuggets had to say? Let's get into it. David Adelman felt like the effort was there on the glass in the first half. He thought it was an amazing effort in the first half, and he just felt like the legs and the size caught up to them in the second half. That was a theme in tonight's pressers, a bit of resignation kind of creeping in as they talk about the rebounding battle and sort of the uphill battle they've been fighting without their centers. And that's certainly a story here right now. He did point out that they only turned it over 5 times, and yet the Lakers still somehow had 25 transition points. So that was a stat he had his eye on. He thought the shot creation got a little ugly late, thought they got tired. Also, he thought the switch hunting, trying to go at Luka, was really effective at first, but then by the end of the game, maybe got them out of some of the things that they like to do. He thought maybe they had to mix it up a bit more. When they blitzed Jamal in the second half, he really liked the offense. He said, we found shots, not just threes, but a lot of shots in the paint, and we just missed them. And that really, really hurt us. He did talk about how them potentially getting creative with this rotation. They said Curtis Jones is coming back at some point. Maybe he has to get into the mix, just another body. Adelman put some of the blame on himself here in the second half, saying, guys got tired. I only played 8 guys, so some of that has to be on me. Maybe I could have mixed in another guy or 2. And that was really it for David Adelman, who just thought the energy was really great in the first half, and he just kind of felt like he watched it wear down as the game went on. We heard from Spencer, who echoed a lot of the same sentiments. He said, we created the same shots we usually create when they blitz Jamal. Threes and paint looks, they just didn't fall. He thought the rebounding effort was much better in this game after a piss-poor effort in Charlotte, but he said sometimes they just don't bounce your way when you're down all of your centers. He was asked about his jumper, if he's confident in it, if he's feeling good about it. Then he was asked, how do you stay patient when we ask you all these questions about your jumper, knowing you set the team record in Stanford for 3-point shooting? And Spencer laughed and he said, yeah, look, I'm a new guy. I'm a two-way guy. He also admitted that, quote, the jumper doesn't look all that pleasing, end quote. He's right. He said they did get a little deflated. He said they did get a little deflated in the second half. And he said, when you're not making your open shots, naturally, that starts to get a little deflating. I asked him where he's at in the conditioning in the season. He's a guy who's maybe didn't expect to play this much, especially in the starting lineup. He admitted it is starting to catch up with him a little bit here. He said he's talked to guys in the locker room that this is about the time of year where it feels a little rough for guys. He hasn't played this much this deep into the season before, but he's prepared for it mentally. On the fouling, he says, look, naturally when you guard the guys I do and you try to do it with the intensity I do, that's going to happen sometimes. But he says, look, some of it is just kind of being out there more, developing relationships with the referees. I asked how those relationships are coming along. And he said, it's nice to know that they know my name now.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
He said they're a little less, I don't want to say dismissive of me, but they're more willing to have conversations with me now. They know who I am. They've reffed me before, and some of these 50-50 calls are starting to go my way.
There you go.
Then we heard from Jamal Murray, who compared this to the Cleveland game. He said, we got great looks. It kind of felt like the Cleveland game with how they were guarding me. We got great looks, but timely misses, I guess untimely misses to help him out there. It's tough to analyze a game when you're missing bunnies. And this was a tough one because it just felt like we were in control.
Oh, bro.
We just missed the makeable shots down the stretch.
It's too true. The bunnies were more memorable to me than the threes. And they did miss a lot of threes, but the bunnies, man. Woo.
I know we're all thinking about Zeke right now.
Well,
funny enough, they ended up shooting 40% from 3 in this game because they were so hot in the first quarter. But yeah, those paint misses were some killers for them down the stretch. He said a similar thing about the rebounding. He said the effort was there. Just again, they got all the timely ones. We couldn't get the ones we wanted, and that was the game. Because that's not on anyone at all. It's just unfortunate with, playing shorthanded without our centers. He goes, look, I'm not always on the glass, and I have to focus on it now, He said Spencer was guarding Hayes. I believe in Spence, but that's not ideal. He said Zeke's their best rebounder right now. ultimately he said, look, they just had some timely ones today. It wasn't on any one person. As far as getting it back on the road, he said, we just have to make sure we gang rebound and don't turn it over. We do those things. It won't be an issue for us. Generally true for this team. Funnily enough, tonight was one of those rare occurrences where the Nuggets take care of the ball and still lose the game. So Murray called this a really tough loss multiple times. He was frustrated. And the guys, I think, are looking forward to getting back on the road and trying to turn this thing around.
I got to imagine, Vogt, I just said this on the show, that I get the sense that Jamal in particular is over this stretch. You know, that it's like, you know, he's enjoyed it. He's accepted the responsibility that it's like, hey, we're kind of at the end of the barrel here on this stuff.
That's the major theme, I think, from these pressers tonight. Not that anyone raised their hands and said, you know, I quit. This is too much. You could hear it. Like you could just hear that. What are we, 12 games into this now without Jokic? They're 7-5, and it just feels like some of this stuff is starting to catch up with them, particularly the rebounding. Where again, for the second game in a row, to me, it sounded like you could hear some resignation in their voices and in those quotes.
Yeah. One last one, Vogt. What would you call this you got on tonight? It's one of my favorites. I think you've got.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's just a brown suit. I'll tell you what Jamal Murray called it. He said Brendan's got the Michael Jordan on. He's got the 1986 Michael Jordan look going. I said, yeah, that was the inspiration for sure.
look at Vogt, man. The year of Vogt.
Is he saying you were doing coke?
Michael Jordan?
No, I don't know.
What an accusation. What a baseless accusation.
Sorry,
yeah, wow, Eric, wow. Those are the headlines coming from this show now.
All right. Good stuff, man.
All right, fellas. See you.
I'll see you.